They told us we use only 10% of our brain. A myth, they said. But what if it wasn't a misunderstanding? What if it wasn't about how much we use, but about how much we're allowed to access? Your brain houses 86 billion neurons, more than there are stars in our galaxy. Each neuron connects with thousands of others. Sparks of thought travel through synapses like fire racing through a dry forest. Every idea you've had, every word you've spoken, every feeling of joy, fear, or sadness, shaped by this impossible organ. But science has always had a blind spot. Not everything in the brain makes sense. Certain regions show no clear function. They remain quiet, even under the most advanced neuroimaging. The deeper you go, the less we understand. There are zones so old, so deeply embedded in our biology, that they resist stimulation. They don't light up, they don't respond. They simply exist. What if these regions were sealed for a reason? Evolution does not always favor growth. Sometimes it favors restraint. What if the 90% we don't use is not inactive, but dormant, like a trapdoor waiting for the right key? Spiritists once believed the brain was not the generator of consciousness, but its receiver. An antenna tuned to a higher frequency, one filtered for our own protection. What happens if that filter is removed? Throughout history, shamans, mystics, prophets, and those deemed mad have described eerily similar visions, other worlds, voices in silence, memories of lives they never lived. They speak of doors in the mind, of moments when time collapses and reality fractures. Are these hallucinations or echoes from the rest of the brain? Using 100% of the brain may not mean increasing intelligence or physical ability. It may mean unlocking the vault, not to more power, but to more perception. And if we perceive everything, past lives, forgotten dimensions, entities that exist only in higher frequencies, do we remain human? Or do we become something else entirely? In the year 2073, humanity reached a crossroads. A global consortium of scientists and mystics joined forces in a top-secret initiative known only as the Thanaton Project. Thanatos meaning death and tonos meaning tension or strain. A project aimed not at extending life, but transcending it. The goal was audacious: to awaken the dormant regions of the brain, to unlock the vault that had been sealed for millennia, possibly for our own protection. Initial experiments involved delicate neural probes capable of mapping brain activity at resolutions never seen before. Using advanced AI and quantum computing, the team sought to stimulate the silent zones, the shadow areas on MRI scans that had always defied understanding. Subjects were volunteers from across the world, brave pioneers willing to risk everything for the chance to glimpse the infinite. The process was not painless. Many reported overwhelming sensations, auditory hallucinations, visions of impossible geometries, and memories that were not their own. One subject, a young woman named Asha, began speaking in tongues no linguist could decipher. She painted star maps that didn't exist in any known catalogue. She claimed to remember places and people from times before recorded history. Others described floating between worlds, their consciousness untethered from their bodies, drifting through corridors of light and shadow. Was this madness or awakening? Ancient spiritual teachings spoke of these states as moments when the soul peeks beyond the veil of this reality. Glimpses into the Akashic records, the cosmic library said to contain the history of every soul, every action, every thought, throughout all time. Science and spirit converged. The brain's locked doors began to creak open. As Asha's brain accessed more of its hidden potential, the boundaries between her mind and the universe began to blur. No longer confined to the physical realm, her consciousness drifted through layers of existence previously unknown to science. Her visions matched accounts from spiritual traditions across the globe. Souls journeying through astral planes, encounters with entities beyond human comprehension, and timeless realms filled with both wonder and terror. The brain's unused areas appeared to function as bridges, connecting the neural pathways of perception with the vast consciousness beyond the material world. What if the brain is not the origin of consciousness, but a receiver, like a radio antenna tuned to frequencies invisible to our senses? In this state, time itself seemed to dissolve. Past, present, and future converged in a single eternal moment. Asha relived memories not her own, lives she had never lived, yet somehow remembered. Places that should not exist within her lifetime appeared with stunning clarity. Scientists struggled to reconcile these phenomena with known physics. Was this neural overload, psychological breakdown, or a glimpse into the afterlife itself? Some suggested that by unlocking the full brain, humans might finally touch the spiritual dimensions long spoken of in myth and religion. Could this be the key to immortality? Or was it a path to madness? With the brain's hidden corridors unlocked, the boundaries between our world and others began to thin. Subjects reported encounters with beings not of flesh and bone, entities of pure energy and consciousness, existing in higher dimensions. Ethereal lights swirl around them. Descriptions varied, but the essence was consistent. These were not hallucinations, but encounters beyond human understanding. Scientists struggled to frame these experiences in logic, but they defied explanation. Ancient religions told of angels, demons, spirits, and gods. Could these be reflections of the brain's full capacity to perceive? The awakened mind seemed to tune into the cosmic web of consciousness, where every thought, every life, every soul is connected. These entities conveyed messages, warnings, guidance, cryptic knowledge about the fabric of reality and the fate of humanity. Yet communication was fragile and incomplete. For the awakened brain, the veil is thin but also dangerous. Not all encounters brought peace. Some beings induced fear, despair, or madness. The line between enlightenment and possession blurred. Spiritism suggested these were visitations from the afterlife, souls lingering between worlds, or cosmic travelers navigating dimensions. Were we finally touching the infinite, or opening doors better left closed? Faced with the overwhelming mysteries of full brain activation, humanity sought balance, not just power. The Thanaton Project evolved into the Great Integration, a union of science and spirit, reason and intuition, mind and soul. Neuroscientists worked alongside spiritual guides to help subjects navigate the vast inner landscape safely. Breathwork, meditation, and ritual became tools to temper the storm raging within the awakened brain. Advanced technology mapped the energetic signature of consciousness, revealing how thoughts and emotions ripple across unseen dimensions. Individuals began to access higher states of awareness, not through force, but through harmony. In these states, the brain no longer just processed the world. It co-created reality alongside the vast cosmic intelligence. Subjects described profound empathy, telepathic connection, and shared visions, glimpses of a collective soul awakening. The boundary between self and other faded, replaced by a sense of oneness with all life. Yet this awakening also posed new questions. If we are part of a greater consciousness, what is the purpose of individuality? Can humanity survive this shift without losing itself? The answers remain unknown, but the journey has begun. As humanity's collective consciousness expanded, it began to resonate with the universe itself, a cosmic symphony of energy, frequency, and vibration. The brain, when fully unlocked, does not function in isolation. It dances with the rhythms of the cosmos, syncing with patterns beyond time and space. This resonance brought harmony, moments where the awakened mind experienced profound peace, creativity, and insight. Artists, scientists, and mystics tapped into these states, yet the symphony also holds discord. Not all frequencies align perfectly. Clashes of energy can cause mental storms, confusion, and despair. The awakening revealed humanity's dual nature, capable of transcendent unity and devastating conflict. In some, the expanded consciousness triggered empathy so deep it overwhelmed the senses. Others found themselves lost in infinite loops of thought and memory. The cosmic symphony is not a simple melody. It is a complex composition, full of light and shadow. Understanding this balance became key to surviving the awakening and to evolving as a species connected not just to Earth, but to the cosmos itself. What happens when the brain's full potential awakens at the edge of death? Near-death experiences, reported across cultures and centuries, offer tantalizing glimpses beyond life's final boundary. Common themes emerge: a tunnel of light, reunions with departed loved ones, encounters with beings of light, and a profound sense of unconditional love and peace. Modern science struggles to explain these phenomena. Are they merely brain chemistry shutting down or windows into another dimension? Spiritism posits that consciousness is eternal, transcending the physical vessel. The brain acts as a gateway, filtering the vast sea of existence into manageable pieces. When that filter fades in moments of death, the soul temporarily escapes its earthly cage. But what if, by unlocking 100% of our brain, we can consciously cross this threshold without dying? This paradox challenges our understanding of life and death, self and soul. If consciousness persists beyond physical demise, then death becomes a doorway, not an end. Could humanity's full brain activation grant us mastery over this transition? Or does it reveal a labyrinth of infinite planes, each with its own laws, dangers, and mysteries? The afterlife remains the greatest unknown and the ultimate frontier of human consciousness.